New PC hardware deals for New Year is here. Zotac's new Zone handhelds will be featuring AMD Ryzen AI processor. Nintendo Switch 2 with motherboard has been leaked out. ASRock launches 520Hz IPS 1080p gaming monitors. And lastly, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5080 launch date has been revealed. Alright, so we have some PC hardware deals for the new year, so let's look into it. Firstly, we have the AMD Ryzen 9 9950X getting around $594, which is 8% cut from the previous pricing, $649. It's a 16-core 32 threads processor, so of course top of the line. Not a huge cut, but it's kind of expected 9950X will not be seeing some huge cut in price, but we're seeing some price cut here. We can also see the AMD Ryzen 9 9900X 12-core 24 threads processor getting 12% price cut, getting into $439 from $499, so not that bad. We also have the Ryzen 7 7700X, the previous generation, but still a very solid processor for gaming, of course, getting a 14% price cut of $342, so you can also grab that if you want to. We also have the Ryzen 9 7900X. This one is getting some decent price cut here, 23% from $549 to $423, so a really good deal here. And lastly, we have the Ryzen 9 7950X, also the last gen, but 16 cores, 32 threads processor. So if you need some core performance, you can grab this one for 21% drop at $554 USD. So not a bad price. As for GPUs, I couldn't really find better deals, but some of them has some good deals. For example, the 7900 XT from Sapphire, which is coming at $689, about 17% price cut here. So it's a decent price cut. So if you're interested in AMD GPUs, of course, if you don't care about ray tracing, maybe this is a good deal. We also have the RX 7700 XT getting $399, 11% price cut from Gigabyte. So not that bad, also not that exciting. So if you're looking to buy, or if you're looking to build a new PC build, or just want to upgrade from your previous GPU, maybe this is a good option. And lastly, we have the RTX 4060 from Gigabyte coming at $299. Maybe it's not the best deal right now, but also not the worst either, because RTX 4060 is still a solid GPU. If you consider ray tracing and other workstation related works, maybe it can do the job. Coming at $299, 9% drop isn't too bad. And of course, if you're gonna buy GPUs and CPUs, you would require power supplies. So we have some very good power supplies available now with decent price cuts. For example, the Thermaltake Tough Power GX2 80 Plus Gold 600 watts power supply getting at $49 USDs at 29% price cut, which is a huge deal right now. You want to grab this one. We also have the Corsair 750 80 Plus Gold fully modular white variant power supply coming at $94 USDs at 27% price cut. So definitely a good deal right here. Next up, we have the Thermaltake Tough Power GF1 850 watts 80 Plus Gold power supply coming at $104 USDs at 25% price cut. So even then, this one is a pretty good deal, as 850 watts full modular is kind of rare and also cheaper this time. Next up, we have the NZXT C850 gold rated fully modular power supply, of course, and it's also low noise profile. So if you're looking for a silent build, of course, this particular power supply will be good enough, coming at $109 USDs at 24% price cut here. So pretty good. Next up, we have another white power supply from Corsair, and this time it's Corsair RM 1000X, of course, 80 Plus Gold. So 1000 watts power supply coming at $174 USDs for higher end PCs, of course, coming at 20% price cut here. So not bad. And lastly, we have the EVGA, which is fan favorite, of course, 1300 GT 80 Plus Gold 1300 watts power supply coming at $200 with a 20% price cut here. So pretty good deal here. And lastly, some CPU coolers here. So we might want to look into those. We have the PC Cooler RZ400 CPU cooler here, which is coming at $19 USDs only, coming at 50% price cut here, which is kind of wild, but also it's a random brand, you could say that, but even then it looks decent. So for a budget build, it should go well. Next up, we have the Corsair iQOO Link Titan 360 RX RGB liquid cooler, of course, coming at $169 at 15% price cut. And the smaller version of that, which is the Corsair iQOO Link H100i, coming at $74 USDs at 32% price cut. So pretty good deal here. And lastly, the Asus ROG Ryu 360 ARGB all-in-one liquid cooler. Of course, we have the $169 USDs here at 15% price cut, so not bad. Next up, we have some information about the Zotac's new Zone handheld, and this is probably the Zotac Zone 2, but they didn't really name that, of course, but that's the successor of the previous version. And this time around, they're utilizing the AMD Ryzen AI 300 series. If you have to see the comparison from video cards here, we can get to see the Zotac Zone 2024 versus 2025, and this time around they're upgrading to Ryzen AI 300 versus the Ryzen 7 8840U. And of course the memory kit, we are not really sure about that, but they will be upgrading that, but it will be launched at CES 2025, so nothing surprising there. So for now, these are the information that we know, not much, but at least it gives us some idea, which is that they're utilizing AMD Zen 5 architecture. So that's a step up in the right direction, definitely, because Lenovo Legion Go also done that. So that's a pretty good competition right there, but they're utilizing the Ryzen Z2 Extreme rather than the Ryzen AI 300. So we'll see how that works. But in terms of architecture, it will be also utilizing the RDNA 3.5, meaning that RDNA 4 ray tracing cores and the RDNA 3 restoration cores. So that should be good enough. As for the display, they're going for 7-inch AMOLED 120Hz display, so basically the standard here, and the release date would be the first half of 2025, so we don't know for sure, but this time around Zotac Zone 2 seems to be in the right direction with some good performance coming from it. And next up, a leak has been emerged in Reddit, so let's look into it, shall we? Which is the Switch 2 motherboard. So this is the leak we get here, that this is the motherboard we're looking at, and allegedly this could be the Nintendo Switch 2. But one interesting thing here is that, look at that, it says NVIDIA SoC right there. Exactly, so definitely for sure we know that if it's Nintendo Switch 2, then definitely they're going for NVIDIA sponsor, or basically NVIDIA's SoC they're utilizing here. So this is interesting. How much powerful that will be, no idea, but if they're going for NVIDIA, it might be something interesting to look at. And yeah, this is basically the whole motherboard we get to see here. The SoC is definitely confirmed is NVIDIA, and the whole motherboard is tiny. Definitely has to be tiny, right? So yeah, quite interesting here. So according to some rumors here from video cards, we get to see some interesting information here. The architecture they're utilizing is the ARM Cortex, ARM Cortex, you could say that. And the APU they're utilizing is the NVIDIA Tegra T239. The SoC CPU is unknown, but the SoC GPU from the images, of course, we get to understand is going to be the NVIDIA Ampere 1536 CUDA core. So that's definitely for sure. The memory they're utilizing is a 12 gigs of LPDDR5X 7500 rated speed, so that's interesting. And the storage will be 256 UFS 3.1. And the display is a bit bigger now, 8 inches. So of course the dimensions will be higher, no doubt about that. And the release date should be in the Q1 of 2025, so we'll see about that. And next up, ASRock has launched their ASRock PG27FFX2A and PG27FFX1B. Both of them are ASRock Phantom Gaming 520Hz panels here. If you look into it right over here in the specs here, we get to see 27-inch FHD 1080p, of course, flat IPS display with 520Hz high refresh rate. That is 520Hz. Definitely, this is fast AF. With 1 milliseconds gray to gray response time, 94% DCI IP3, that's the rated, of course, and 123 sRGB color space with a wide 178-degree viewing angle. That is quite common with the VESA mount. Of course, display HDR 400 nits. So of course not true HDR, but again, that is close to it. With of course AMD FreeSync premium technology. Both of these panels will be similar. There are some UI differences. For example, right over here it says this particular one can change the height, swivel and tilt adjustment, but this one is fixed. So that's the only difference here. And one more thing, it comes with Wi-Fi, which is very odd that it comes with Wi-Fi right over here. You can see that, but this one doesn't, obviously. So that's quite fascinating. If you don't want a router, Wi-Fi router, you can use your monitor, I guess. Yeah, that's fascinating. And yeah, there's some marketing scheme right over here. They're comparing 520Hz with 144Hz. I don't think that's a good comparison, as it's just a blurred image and unblurred image. So that's just a marketing gimmick, I guess. But overall, this panel looks good. This particular one, of course, because it's a gaming themed rather than this one looks like a simple generic version, even though it's 520Hz. So I guess this is gonna be good, right? And yeah, that's the marketing right over there. It says low-cost Wi-Fi antenna. However, they're not really low cost. Even motherboards have some good Wi-Fi antennas, so not really the case, but they're just comparing, like right over here it says integrated Wi-Fi antenna, so you can integrate the motherboard's Wi-Fi with the monitors want to have a better coverage, I guess. So yeah, maybe. And as for ports, we get to see two HDMI 2.1 ports, DisplayPort 1.4, USB 3.2 Gen 1x1 Type B, and 2 times USB 3.2 Gen 1x1 Type A ports. So ports are available, you can utilize any of them. And just to confirm here, the HDMI also supports 520Hz and the DP will also support 520Hz, so no need to worry about that. So yeah, decent monitors, not really decent, 520Hz is fast. And lastly, a small information, we have this particular information that comes from HKEPC, and basically it says 580 at 21 January. So 21st January will be the launch date, allegedly, for the 5080. Of course, not confirmed, nothing is confirmed, but this is just a random tweet and nothing can be disregarded as rumor. So we get to see, this is an information we get to see here for the 5080 coming at January 21st. So that's not too far off. And don't forget, the CES will be in January 7 of 2025. So we might be seeing NVIDIA launching the RTX 5080 or even 5090. And there was already a leak that in CES they will be launching the RTX 5080, and after that they might be launching the 5090. So 5080 is coming first and then the 5090. So this is kind of makes sense though, because we might be seeing 21st January the 5080 launch date, and in February, early February, we might be seeing the 5090 launch date. So that makes more sense. So there was a comment here that I hope 5090 is still in January. I guess not, because the leaks kind of aligns with this timeline. So if January 21st is the 5080 launch date, then the 5090 should be on the early February or even mid-February. No idea. We'll see about that. Anyways, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're interested in any of the products that I've mentioned here, you can check it out. Links will be in the description.